The White House has identified two main criteria for striking nations off the invite list for the first ever US-Africa Leaders Summit. The first criteria is those suspended from the African Union, which includes the Central African Republic, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, and most notably for US foreign policy, Egypt.
I would not read too much into the exclusion of Egypt. I think US policymakers here, and certainly the President's office, talk to leaders in Egypt on a much more routine basis than, say, Gambia.
Gambia's opposition leader has questioned why the country's president has been invited because of a poor record on democracy, human rights and governance.
Gambia is in current good standing with the African Union, and there are no U.S. policy restrictions in place that would restrict the president and his inner circle and staff from traveling to the U.S.
A more vague second criteria for exclusion is one described by a White House official as not in good standing with the United States, though a more specific sub-criteria within that, suggested by another official, is subject to US or UN sanctions, which certainly applies to Zimbabwe and Sudan. Sudanese leader Omar al-Bashir is also indicted under the International Criminal Court, though Kenya has also been invited despite its president and vice president facing charges at the ICC.
Kenya is a key partner, irrespective of the personal status of its current head of state, is a key partner to the U.S. and has been for a number of years. It's played a constructive role not only in security in Somalia, but also in neutral mediation of the crisis in South Sudan. It's also key to regional economic development, which is a very important U.S. foreign policy objective.
Eritrea has not been invited because of UN sanctions and, according to a White House official, because it's not accepted US offers to re-establish diplomatic relations and has sought to destabilize Somalia. A US government official has now indicated to CCTV that the invitees are subject to review based on future developments, including removal from the AU suspended list. Madagascar may fit into that category soon. But with 47 nations invited, the scale of US ambition for this summit is nonetheless unprecedented, and experts say considerable deference has been played to the African Union behind the scenes in deciding who to invite. Daniel Ryntjes, CCTV, Washington.